All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's been a volatile day, pretty interesting day, interesting start to September, which is great for us traders. And we're joined now by Tracy Shuchart, and she's an energy trader up in Canada, and she has been, very active in our chat, especially in the energy area, but also focuses on S&P and Euro and a lot of different markets. And she has a really technical way of looking at the markets. And so Tracy's going to take us through a number of the different indicators she looks at. So thanks for joining us, Tracy.
Hi. Okay. So really what I just wanted to go over today, because I think it's kind of highly underused. A lot of people don't use it. And when I started using it years ago, I found it to be kind of an invaluable tool. So it's TPO, or market profile, which just TPO stands for time, price, opportunity. Here we have a picture of this. This is what like a perfect, ideal looking TPO structure would look like, just to kind of give you an example. So each letter or block represents trading for a specific time block at a specific price. So in other words, each block represents a point in time where the market touches the price, whereas volume profile is trading volume at a specific price during a specific time period. So that's kind of the difference between TPO and volume profile. So TPO here is showing you actual market structure. And what we're looking for is we're looking for weak or poor highs and lows, and areas that I call repair in the market structure, because the market likes to go back and readdress those areas or re-auction those areas. So in an ideal world, this is what a perfect TPO structure would look like. You want, right here, you want either a pyramid top like this or a blow off top, and then same with a bottom. So we're looking for where you want at least one single block up at the top or up at the bottom. Again, this kind of just describes exactly what TPO is. You also have a point of control, and then value areas. Now, some people like to use letters. I prefer to use blocks. It really doesn't matter. So we'll go ahead and we'll switch to my actual TPO profile. All right, so this is actually what's happening in market right now. This is obviously real time and what I look at every day. I prefer to have TPO. Again, I use blocks, not letters. Against volume profile, and you'll see, a lot of times they look similar, a lot of times they look very different. But what I'm looking for, when I'm looking at these areas, and I'll talk about it a lot, is I'm looking for areas like right here, where we had a weak top, and the market, some people call them poor, high or low, but these occur.
So if we take a look at this, it's a little small for everybody. I just want to clarify on this is a chart of crude oil, and on the right-hand side is the price, and at the bottom it looks like it's a multi-day chart going.
Right. This is purely a daily chart.
Right.
Right. So
then just taking us through, because I'm actually not familiar with these charts. So if you take us through, it looks like yesterday. What is it that exactly saying? Like, what's that blue part? What's the gray part? What's the blue, like, in the top part, the middle?
So right here is just, these are value areas. So value area high, value area low, and then everything in the middle. Right here, this line right here. Well, it's not giving me a crosshair, but this line right here would be the POC from that day.
Okay.
It's a naked POC because we didn't go back and repair it. And then these red lines are where we have single bricks. And now single bricks are where you have incomplete options. So you have single print. When the price is not in balance, I call it a repair area. The market likes to go back and re-auction those areas. So what I'm looking for is, I noticed that down here, say the other day we had one left. So I was looking for the market to come down into this area because I was short yesterday, so that was kind of the goal. Now, I don't use these for entries or exits. I simply use them as areas that I'm looking at the markets to be attracted to. So we had this area of repair down here. The market was coming down here. There were a lot of other things that coincided it, but what happened is I was looking for the market to come here and the market to bounce, which indeed it did. I was this morning, if you were on, looking for 66. I didn't quite get the 66, but this is still considered an area that needs to be addressed again, even though it's only 6 ticks that we didn't get.
So is this so we're the purple line or pink line on the right hand side? We're trading right now 69.02 in crude and OCC crude. Is that what is
right.
this live updating?
This is because I'm screen sharing. For some reason, it's not really ticking.
Okay, so it's not updating. So, but what it's showing,
right.
We've had a range on the day of about 59 is the high, and 68.59 coincidentally is the low. So,
right.
Taking us
so
through...
this profile, what I'm looking at is, okay, so say I'm looking at this profile and I'm looking at, how am I going to approach this profile on the day? Well, you notice that we have unfinished business, even though it's a few ticks above. And most importantly, we have this weak bottom here, right?
Right.
A weak bottom would constitute 2 layers of bricks or more. And remember, we always want to have 1 brick at the top, or at least 1 brick at the top to cap the top and bottom. So when I see this, we have a 4 bottom. That means that the market will most likely, not always, go back and correct this area within 24 to 48 hours. Not always, and it could go back and correct this today. We don't know, the day's not finished, but say today was finished. And I'm just looking at this profile and, where I'm thinking. Then my areas of interest would be for the next day to absolutely be looking at this bottom, and we also have a naked POC right underneath it, as well as this top with this area that is still needs to be addressed.
And then the right-hand side, is that volume?
So then, yes, I personally just like to see the volume profile as well on the day, even though, but you certainly don't have to have that facing each other if you don't want to. A lot of people don't really. This chart set up personal preference only, but the volume profile, it's the same thing. You'll have value, gives you the value areas, which are the darker, my POCs in red. And then all I do with my particular platform is I do a singles line extension and a POC extension for the TPO so that I don't have to mark them. It's there and easy to see.
Yeah. And then if we were to close today here, we're at $69 even right now. If we were to close here and, we don't have much of a move higher or lower, we kind of go out pretty much here, what would that be telling you about the market for tomorrow?
Well, that's what I'm saying. For the market for tomorrow, I mean, the thing is that they can't give you which direction it's going to go first. Again, it's not really a tool that you would use to initiate a trade. Perhaps, you would be looking to exit. I mean, I have to have a lot of other things in the area, but I wouldn't. In this case, I did initiate this down here, but there was a whole bunch of other stuff down there that I was looking at.
Right.
But, I'm looking at them more as areas, if that makes sense, rather than I'm going to go long here or short here.
Right.
Right.
And
these areas would have to be coupled with a bunch of other things that I'm seeing, because this market wanted to go higher just because it has 6 more ticks. I mean, we could certainly go up to this POC. We could certainly go, depending on the market's moving. It doesn't mean that the market's necessarily going to turn around and correct here.
Right.
Or that it's going to come down and fix this and then bounce right back up. We don't know that.
And then this is just one of many tools that you use to help make decisions in the different markets that you analyze.
Right. I just thought it's useful because, again, a lot of people don't use it. And when I started using it, I found it really beneficial. If you want to learn anything more about it, Peter Stiedelmeier is the one that invented this in 1984, and he has some great books on it as well.
Okay, that's interesting. I personally don't look at this, so it's really helpful to see kind of the way, and I've seen you post these sort of charts, so very helpful to kind of get more clarification on what exactly you're focused on within these charts. What other sort of charts do you kind of look at to help complement these sort of trades?
Well, I look at a lot of order flow tools. Um, so, I look at market depth, a lot of market depth charts, which I think I've showed those before.
So when you see a market depth chart, what really piques your interest?
Well, here, I'll go ahead. Let me switch screens again,
Sure.
and we'll go to another one.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a market depth chart. So what I'm seeing, and it's not going to let me squish it or anything, but what I'm looking at is I'm looking for buy pressure or sell pressure. So here's where we have, obviously offers here, bids here. The market's pretty not really giving a lot of clues right now, but you'll see some of the lighter reds. Those are sell pressures. So if you see the market come up here, and you see, I guess I'm looking for, these lighter colors, like a lot of sell pressure that's pushing this market down. You can use this tool really well if you're a scalper. To me, I kind of more use it again more for direction and what I'm seeing in the market. But all in all, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if we have a ton of bids down here or a ton of offers here, and each bar is colored by the amount of the bid or offer amount of
And
bids
these,
or offer on that price level. Oh my God, I
right.
can't talk.
And so these are constantly changing also, because as we get, like if we were to rally,
Right.
it would, the offers might be pulled or it might get filled at a
Exactly,
different
and this is basically a visual of just that, right? It's just a visual of, offers being pulled or not.
Right, right. And so, kind of glancing, using the different indicators you're looking at, we've had some volatility over the past few days. We saw crude trade up above 70. I think we got above 71 yesterday, or pretty close to 71. Here we are at about 69. S&P's been a bit all over the place. What are you kind of focused on right now, and what kind of signals are you focused on?
Right now I'm looking for a bounce off of this area. It's a pretty key area, and would be looking to go short if that's what you're asking. I think this market's pretty, there's a lot of reasons why this market isn't at 80 right now, right?
Right.
So, I'm looking for, and anytime it gets over 70, 71, that's been a pretty solid sell, I would say that, and as we're heading into a seasonal low time. This is, where demand starts to come off, winter driving slows down, things like that. So, I'll post a seasonal chart in the chat later. But you can, kind of again see seasonal trends. And the seasonal trend for oil and gasoline is to the downside until about mid-December.
Yeah. So you're looking for different areas to help. You're thinking the market's going to head lower, and you're waiting for some good technical setups to help kind of endorse that.
Correct.
And we saw actually yesterday in the chat you put on a good trade on the short side, based on that sell-off yesterday. What about when you take a look at the S&P? What are your thoughts there based on the recent price action?
Well, I think obviously it's looking pretty bearish right now, but if you notice, it was as soon as Europe closed, we started bouncing. So I think that, I still think this market has higher to go, even though everybody's kind of calling for a crash. So I'm kind of at this point more looking for longs here into probably, for the next couple of days here.
Okay. Anything else sticking at you in the global markets?
I think currencies obviously are very interesting. That's, I only trade a couple of them. Obviously, Greg is our in-house expert on that. But there's definitely some interesting moves in the currency markets of late. I think crude's gonna be a really good trade, both long and short here. I think we just had that grind up forever, and now I think there's going to be good opportunities long and short, even if I'm, geared towards the the downside. I'm still day trading it, so there's opportunities, long and short, I think.
Right. Yeah, no, there absolutely has
Little
been.
little volatility is nice. Same with S&P. I mean, we were just on that grind for August, right? So
Absolutely. It's good to get
finally
some
we're seeing a
two-way trading.
little, right?
Yeah, no, it's really good. And the one interesting thing that I've been taking a look at today, it looks like G10 FX, the dollar is actually weaker, which we have not seen. Typically on risk-off days, we have seen the dollar strengthening, and so that's kind of one head scratcher. And yields really aren't doing a whole lot right now. So. Um,
So
Tracy?
that's it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I thought that actually we just lost power here. It's funny. We just had the tropical storm come through over the past few
Oh,
days,
wow.
and then ever since 12 o'clock when you were started coming on, we've had some major power outages. But what are your thoughts? Any thoughts on that with the dollar weakness on kind of a risk-off day?
So yeah, I mean, I think that's really interesting. It was a nice year-long trade on that this morning. But yeah, I mean, it's again, I mean, we talked about this last time when I was on. There's a lot of correlations that are sort of a myth right now, right? They're like in and out. So I think, I don't know. I think we're going to have to see what September brings, but I think we're, in for some good volatility. I think some good trading.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some
It's
good
going to be
two-way
had.
trading. Yeah, some good two-way trading. I think that will continue. We got a lot of economic data, a lot of trade, political news coming out. We saw a big pop in
Midterms,
midterm elections.
government shutdown threats.
Yeah, a little of
So
everything. It'll definitely be an interesting last 4 months of the year for sure.
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I think all around there's going to be some good opportunities.
Yeah,
Um,
good. All
that's it.
right.
I don't really have that much else to really talk about. I really just wanted to go over our market profile again, and encourage people to take a look at it at least.
Yeah, that was
Just
really interesting taking us
really
through
help
the TPO charts. Very helpful because also you post those very often, so it's good to get a better understanding to,
of what I'm talking about.
exactly to know more clearly. So that's really helpful. And we actually just started that technical analysis tab, which is in the upper right-hand corner. And so Tracy's going to be continuing to update that along with other traders as well. And so keep an eye for those TPO charts and other ones. But thanks, Tracy, for the insight and the help.
Yep, no problem. Thanks.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right.